Today I'm going to bash Nikon, but only in the way a Nikon shooter and a Nikon fan would do. If you're a Nikon shooter or a Nikon fan, you probably didn't like the last 2 years of indiscriminate Nikon bashing. In fact, it's been more than 2 years of that on YouTube. You have been loyal, you have been waiting, and you have been patient, and you have spoken on behalf of Nikon more than I think Nikon have. Although brand wars are stupid, it is just incredible to see people have such deep attachment to the idea of a photography brand. And I really admire that, I really like that. As the market shrinks, the intensity of that attachment is the most important asset that will keep giving. I believe that behind the brand wars is a kind of love and support that is absolutely important today. But support isn't purposeless, it shouldn't be blind. While Nikon fans look out and protect the brand, they naturally have some expectations. Look, the Z9 has been great, but Nikon has gaping holes in their portfolio, at least according to me. So today I'm going to talk about those 5 or 6 things that I believe the Nikon portfolio is missing. I don't care about what professionals say, but the Nikon lineup needs 1.4 lenses, urgently so. Why? Because 1.2s are too expensive for most people and at times impractical for many applications, like when you mount them on gimbals, they're too heavy. The 1.4 lenses are just the right balance in terms of quality and practicality, in terms of being fast, smaller, relatively more affordable, and being world class. The 1.4 lenses also go 2/3 of the way towards 1.2 lenses in terms of light transmission and bokeh. So we need Z-mount 1.4 lenses. It will be great if Nikon ties up with other brands. For example, if they do not want to make brand new designs of 1.4 lenses, can they take, for example, the Samyang lenses or Sigma lenses and probably tweak them a little and bring them up, a notch to the Nikon standards, and then use those, work with third-party lens manufacturers. I have been really enjoying some nice Samyang lenses recently on my Sony A7 IV. So I see the point of having light, affordable, nice, good 1.4 lenses. Second, we need 10-bit 422 internal in cheaper Nikon bodies yesterday. You see, filmmaking is a whole world in itself, and the Nikon world needs to catch up. An average Sony or Fuji user will have the opportunity to tinker with log profile, for example, and try learning color grading and such different tools within the camera. Things that a more serious filmmaker would do. But when you do not have that, then you are not exposed to that a whole lot of skill set that is important to make more money and for better creative satisfaction and better creative opportunities. The Sony, Panasonic and Fuji ecosystems are matured for video production. The use of anamorphic lenses using log profiles, smart stabilization capabilities like Sony's Catalyst browser, or even its active steady capabilities. Panasonic's amazing waveforms and false colors, Sony's clear zoom or product showcase mode. These are at different levels. These are only some of the ways that we see those camera ecosystems have matured, and we see them offering, different skills, different features that are very useful for filmmakers and content creators today. Nikon needs to take those decided steps for their cheaper bodies in that direction and allow Nikon users to explore their filmmaker side. Now let's talk about the third issue. Like I said almost a year back, the Z9 will not be the camera to give a complete turnaround to brand Nikon. Yes, the latest financial results are very good and they're very promising, but that's not enough. Growing in a shrinking market requires constant effort, and it requires one to beat the competition. The bigger point is that people have been waiting and people have been shifting because they're still waiting. The Z9 is incredible, but it's still not the camera for most people. Not because they're not capable enough creators or capable enough photographers or filmmakers, or they're not serious enough professionals, but because their work requires a different kind of camera, and Nikon must do it now, and now. The fourth big issue is with the absence of crop sensor bodies. Really powerful and serious D500 replacement. Canon has done it recently with the R7 and particularly the R10. Particularly the R10. I'm going to add that, below $1,000 the kind of capabilities that the R10 has is it's amazing, it's incredible. And I've been saying this for more than 10 months now, that Nikon needs to make a D500 replacement. Definitely something that matches the requirements and expectations of 2023. Doesn't mean that I want the camera to come in 2023. I want the camera to come in sometime very soon, definitely within 2022, but should be ready for spec sheet that's, let's say, expected for the year 2023. So a lot of people have been talking about long lenses and that high megapixel cameras ensure crop bodies are irrelevant, but that's just not true. There are a lot of people who do not want to spend that kind of money, but they want to take those incredible pictures, and they're real people ready with their monies. And I don't see there being any intelligent argument in losing that segment to Canon or to Sony or to Fuji. So Canon's R7 and R10 will do that job for them. What about Nikon? That was point number 4. Now the fifth issue that I see, the fifth big hole in Nikon's lineup or portfolio thinking right now, is that Nikon did hit upon something exciting with the ZFC, right? The Z film camera maybe, but we need to see a full frame version of that camera, because when that camera came out, a lot of people are very excited, but many of them actually wanted the camera to be full frame, and a lot of people said that, I'm just waiting for the day when the ZFC will come in a full frame with a full frame sensor. So with the ZFC, Nikon is full frame ZFC, Nikon is going to unlock a huge market, and I'm pretty sure Nikon is going to convert some Sony and Canon and Fuji users too, because no one else is in a position like Nikon is to offer that beautiful film-like style of shooting, at the same time a full frame sensor. So it'll be a legendary launch if Nikon decides to go the full frame ZFC way. But Nikon have to stop debating on it and just do it, because you all know it's going to be a successful launch. A full frame ZFC will give birth to a credible new segment of cameras. Lastly, Nikon needs to go compact, even more compact than they have gone so far, especially on their lenses. Look, some of the PF lenses and the 100 to 400, they're excellent size and weight. The 800 mm is fantastic. The 400 f2.8 is fantastic. But for the 1. What sort of threw me off was the 50 mm 1.2. Incredible lens, but it's quite long, it's quite heavy and large. Well, 1.2 lenses are supposed to be large, but if you look at Sony, they made a few compromises, but the priority was clear. They wanted to make it as compact as possible, and I think that philosophy is important. That philosophy works. It just opens the product up to a lot more people. Nikon seriously and aggressively needs to go compact. The 40mm f2 is a step in the right direction. It's a fantastic lens. I would say that it's one of Nikon's best lenses that they launched in the last 3 years. Yes, the 40mm f2, just because how useful it is. Be inspired by the Sony A7C. Copy that if required, and really we can't openly copy that, but you know what I mean. Be inspired by the A7C, but do a much better job than that. Imagine the A7C Mark II or even Mark III and make that under the Nikon brand name today. I would say within 2022 or within the first half of 2023. On the other hand, let's make a series of compact primes and compact zooms. People are waiting for them. Lastly, and for me most importantly, get some of those Z9 abilities for the Z6 via firmware updates. I do not care about what the pundits say. Nikon can and they will bring firmware version 2, and it has to be done now. And I know that the version 2 bodies actually have a lot of capability. If they tweak the software, keeping the body and its processing power in mind, I think they'll be able to bring in a lot of functionalities from the Z9. Of course, it's not going to be able to shoot 10-bit, but I think the focus system can be much better. I think the a diluted down, watered down version of the 3D tracking system can be implemented for the Z6 via firmware update. So looking forward to that, especially if you remember how XT3 with the firmware version 4 really matched up to XT4, and that was a huge improvement. They improved their low light performance by I think 2 or 3 stops, and that was incredible, right? So I think it's quite possible. So there you go, and this was a bit of tough love for Nikon from me. Do share what you think and tell me where do you think I'm probably going wrong, and where you think I'm getting it right. Where do you agree with me? What would you ask Nikon to make tomorrow? Where do you see the gap? I think we need to have that conversation for the benefit of Nikon, especially if you are invested in the brand. I am. So I'm going to see you very soon with another video, and share, like, subscribe, do all those good things. See you soon.